Hi guys, it's Archon. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Today I'm doing I guess you could call it mini spotlight on a company called Phaedon or Phaedon or Phaedon as some people pronounce it. It's a Greek word, maybe someone can help me out. I know this whole line is in reference to Greece. So the reason I want to start by saying the reason I'm doing them all together is this line in particular are kind of themed on the Mediterranean, and each fragrance celebrates a single material or is focused on a single material. The fragrances are purposefully designed to be stripped back, a bit linear, so they each focus on this one material or maybe two and have a couple of supporting notes. They don't have traditional pyramids, so they're quite simple, so they don't each warrant a single review because they're not that complicated to go that in depth with. So I wanted to do a rundown of the whole line. These are all the Eau De Toilettes. There is an Eau De Parfum line, which I think I'll probably do the same video for, because they are also quite simple, but they're just a little bit more interesting, I think, or complex, I should say. So these are the Eau De Toilettes. The Eau De Parfums are an entirely different set of fragrances. They don't come in both concentrations. They only come in 100ml bottles, and the man behind this company is Pierre Guillaume. He is a very busy man. He is the owner of Parfumerie Générale, if you know who that is. This is his line as well. He also has a line called Croisière, and he also has a fourth line called Utième Art, or Utième Art, which come in black bottles, which are really cool actually. So, excuse me. So I have all of them here. Some I love, some I hate. Some are just meh, but I'll go through with you. I've got some notes because I've actually been studying these fragrances, so don't mind me if I just reference them because they do have the notes and things on. I'm just going to go down the line from the paper. So, the first one is called Cendres de Terre. Am I going to put the pictures of each bottle in? I'm not sure. All the bottles look exactly the same. Maybe I'll put one in to give you an idea. So, the first one is Cendres de Terre. This one is quite unusual. It's different from the others because it doesn't actually contain any tea. It means ashes of tea. So what they've done here is they've used certain ingredients to replicate or make you feel the nuances that tea has. The notes are rose, cardamom, cedar, musk, pepper and camphor. It's actually Howood from Japan, which is their version of what camphor is. Camphor is a really weird, intense note, and they're really simple. While I'm sniffing this and letting it dry, I want to say, if you're a fan of things like Jo Malone, you know, fragrances that are quite simple and on purpose they're simple, you might like these. If you don't like your fragrances to be too fussy or overly complicated or just have 30 notes in them, these are really good as gifts, I think. I'm not trying to sell them to you, I just think that they're really good as gifts if you want to get someone something you're not sure, because they are quite simple. But this one really smells to me mainly of pepper, that's what I can smell in it. It's quite clean smelling, it's quite crisp, and there's quite a lot of cedar as well. It's quite woody. I don't really get any rose from it, which is unusual, but it smells a little bit like a spiced tea, even though there's no tea in it. It's light, it feels like you could wear this in spring, and it's just a little bit dark as well. There's a little bit of darkness going on. It definitely feels like black pepper, but it doesn't tingle your nose. They've kind of cleaned the composition here, so it's wearable. It's a little bit transparent as well, and it's really pleasant. It's not one of my favourites, but it is, from what I know, one of the more popular ones. So there are way better ones though, believe me. So the next one is one of my least favourites, unfortunately, but it's just next in the line. It's called Pluie De Soleil, which is kind of a play on words, means it's raining sun, or it's raining sunshine, which I think is quite cute, really. And this one is a fruity, I guess you could call it. And the notes are, again, really simple. It's focused mainly on, I would say, kind of like a sandalwoody peach type feeling. But the notes, if you want to know, are bergamot, lemon, pineapple, strawberry, freesia, peach, sandalwood and vanilla. So it's got quite a dry feeling to it, and this one is my least favourite only because it smells a little bit cheap. I know that's really harsh, but it feels like a body mist to me, like something, a fruity body mist that's a bit dry. You know, sometimes peach in fragrance can have that dry, rough sort of texture, almost like a peach stone as opposed to a gorgeous fleshy peach. This has got that going on. There's a tiny bit of pineapple, but really again it's quite transparent as well. It's okay, it just feels a bit unfinished to me, so that's why it's not my favourite. But if you like simple, fruity and a little bit dry fragrances, then you might like this one. What's next? So the next one is called Oliban. If you didn't know already, Oliban or Olibanum is another name for frankincense, and this one to me is the most simple of the entire line. I do know that in this fragrance what they do is they distill the frankincense alongside cedarwood, so it's like a double distillation kind of thing, and really to me it smells like frankincense resin with a lot of cedarwood. It's really light, it's really simple. The actual notes are ambroxan, frankincense, cedar, musk and sandalwood. So I can really only smell a lot of cedar. It has that kind of pencil shaving thing going on, but then you have a really crisp, almost green frankincense resin. This isn't smoked frankincense, it's just very simple, smells a little bit churchy, but this is an incense of a lighter nature, so if you love incense but can't handle it because sometimes it can be very heavy, this would be a really good one. Really stripped back incense cedarwood fragrance. Does the job. I like it, but I like my things a bit more complicated. So the next one is Oriental Mint. I wonder what the note in this one is. So this one obviously is centered around mint. It doesn't have that many notes either, but this one actually is really cool. So the notes are cedar, pepper, tobacco, it's black tobacco, white musk, geranium, peppermint and tolu balm. I don't feel a lot of the notes in here. It's a very singular, bright, minty fragrance. And I really like it, and when I tried this one on my skin, this one actually does develop, which was surprising because they are designed to be linear, but it reveals a really nice character. This one's one of the more complex ones of the line. At first, obviously, it's minty. There's a bit of woodiness behind. I don't really smell any balminess. It's quite a cold fragrance, this one, and it's nice. But you gotta like mint. Mint is one way or the other in fragrances. It's either done really well or it smells like toothpaste. And here it doesn't. It's quite cold, it's cool. It's not so much leafy, it's just, it feels like peppermint oil kind of thing. I like it. I think just behind I can feel something that feels a bit rosy, which must be the geranium. But when this dries, it does change. The mint actually does back off quite a bit, and the tobacco gets revealed, and it does have quite a multifaceted thing going on. So that one's a really nice one for sure. Next. So the next one is called Lentisque. Lentisque is another word for mastic, if you didn't know that. It is a really light resin. It's not one of the heavy ones like myrrh or labdanum or anything like that. It's a really light resin that comes from a shrub, I think. So this fragrance is really green. It feels very lightly resinous, but there's a ton of galbanum in here, so it's got a green resin as well as a lighter, more, I guess you could say, traditional smelling resin. I don't know. This has ambergris, it has labdanum in it as well, mastic, which is lentisque, vetiver, cedar, galbanum and musk. And the main two things I can smell here are a really lovely galbanum. A galbanum is such a beautiful note. Not the easiest thing to wear because it does smell a bit vegetal, but there's a lovely light resinous feeling behind it. It's really complementary of each other and it's really simple and beautiful. I like this one. Again, there's a dry wood in it. These fragrances seem to have this dry, transparency, woody feeling throughout. Not all of them, but most of them. This one's really lovely. It's also very linear. I have worn this one as well. So galbanum, a very light resin, mastic. It's like a gum. It's a gum note. So Not overcrowded, really, really cool. I like that one too. Oh, sorry. The next one is my least favourite of the entire bunch. It's called Jari, or Jari, if you want to pronounce it properly. And this one focuses on more of a foodie type thing. I'll tell you the notes. I don't really like them. It's... oh, Jari, here you go. It's named after a famous wind that blows through the Libyan desert. But the notes are cashmeran, which is a woody, a really light woody note, dates, Malaga wine, tonka beans, cedar, grapes and sandalwood. The reason I don't like this one is because I don't like winey, boozy notes in fragrances, and this has an almost kind of brown feeling to it. It feels like dried fruits, it feels like raisins, it feels like dates, but then there's this almost winey, not like winey, but there's a wine thing going on, and it does feel exotic. I like that about it, but there's something about this that puts me off. Grapes, wine, raisins, dates, and again, that dry, almost peppery wood. There's a kind of peppery cedar wood in the background. There's something redeeming about it, but I just can't get away from the wininess. But this one feels, yeah, a bit boozy, fruity, boozy, but again, very light and wearable. So, yeah. Next! So Verveine Figuer is the next one. This one is one of the ones I really like. It is, of course, celebrating verbena, lemon verbena, which to me sometimes feels like it might be in the same family as lemongrass, I don't know, but also fig, and who doesn't like fig in fragrances? I'm sure there are some people, but I absolutely love fig in fragrances. This is, let me just get the notes, 1 second. So it's benzoin, fig tree leaves, licorice, musk, oak moss, Texas cedar and verbena. And this feels like a lovely mixture of an almost lemongrass feeling with fig, which is a little bit buttery, a little bit green. It's bright, it's got a bit of a spark to it. The fig in here isn't super heavy or kind of cloudy like it can sometimes be. It's like the notes balance each other out, and that's really, really nice. So if you want a fresh, kind of zingy, figgy fragrance, this one is really lovely. I love this one. It's a good one. What's next? So the next one is Poivre Colonial. Poivre in French means pepper. That is what this fragrance is centered around. Oh, it's really nice. Okay, Poivre Colonial, black pepper, cedar, cocoa beans, grapefruit, nutmeg, oak moss, patchouli, vetiver and white woods. I don't smell loads of those things. Of course, this is centered around pepper, and it's really nice because it doesn't tickle your nose. It's not a kind of sneezy black pepper. You can feel the almost greenery of the black peppercorns, because pepper sometimes smells a bit green to me. So I can feel that. I can feel that dry woody thing again that seems to be a running theme with this line. It's really nice. I can't feel cocoa or anything like that. Again, it's light, it's transparent, it's not a heavy fragrance. All of these so far have been completely unisex as well. They really don't lean towards either way. This is really nice. I really like it. You can feel the peppercorniness of it. That one's really simple too. I mean, pepper and some light transparent woods. There's not much more I can say about that one. Okay, moving on to L'Eau de Phaedon. L'Eau de Phaedon. This one's different because this fragrance is actually hypoallergenic. It's family friendly. You can spray it on your kids, spray it on your babies, spray it on your pets, I don't know, all of that kind of stuff. Maybe not your pets, don't do your pets, but you can spray this on everyone because it's hypoallergenic. This one's really interesting. This one has, I'll tell you what's in there, agave leaves, aloe vera, jasmine, mandarin, musk, neroli and white woods. This is really pleasant. I mean, from a personal standpoint, none of these are complex or bold enough for me, but not everyone has the same taste. This one's really cool. You can really feel the coolness of it. There's a smooth, almost waxy kind of aloe vera type feeling. It's really light. It feels like white musk as well. It almost feels a tiny bit creamy, but on a really light scale. And you can just imagine aloe vera, agave, that sort of green, I guess you could call it foamy type stuff if you squeezed an aloe vera plant. It's really, really light. I mean, I'm having to sniff that really close up. So this is for those of you that cannot take strong fragrances. All of these are, they're really cool in that way. I like that. It feels like when you wear it, like you have the lightest scented moisturiser on your skin. I like that one. Next, this one is Coton Egyptien. This is actually one of my top favourites. The last three are actually all of my favourites, apart from the other one I mentioned. These are my top three. So this one's Coton Egyptien. It's really, really simple. This one, this basically smells, I don't even need to spray it because I've worn it so many times and loved it. This basically smells like laundry. It has a white, it has a Egyptian cotton accord in it, something a bit fantasy-like. Cedar, galbanum and musk. I don't smell galbanum at all. I don't smell cedar. This one does not have that woody thing that the other ones have. It smells like curling up in a pile of hot laundry. It's very clean. You could spray this on your clothes to freshen them up, kind of thing. It's really smooth. It's just so pleasant. Again, it's really light, very inoffensive, this one. I can't see anyone ever getting offended by this. It smells like you've just put a drop of fabric softener in your clothes. I love this one. I could smell it all day. But it's really simple. It just smells like a very light laundry scent. Gorgeous. Which leads me on to Rue Des Lilas. This is one of the most floral of the bunch. It's the Road of Lilacs. And a little bit of education if you didn't know. Lilacs you cannot distill. So lilac in a fragrance is always the perfumer's interpretation of what that is. That's why lilac will smell different in every fragrance that you smell if it's a different company. So in this one, it's so beautiful. This is such a pleasant, light floral. They've created it with Lily of the Valley, I think, amongst other things. So the notes are Lily of the Valley, musk, apopinats, palisander, which is rosewood, raindrops, and white lilac. So they've created a very dainty, slightly aqueous floral here. So inoffensive. I would just lavish myself with this. If you like the smell of lilacs and or Lily of the Valley, really light musks, just really gorgeous, really simple and pure. And that one is a fave. So, so beautiful. There's some complexity, but it's not. It's just kind of, as soon as you spray it, you know what you're going to get. It's like an aqueous lilac. It's just so lovely. Simple and pretty, that one. Which leads me on to the last one, which is Eau De Simple Concombre. So this one is centered around cucumber. And I know cucumber can be a really dodgy note in fragrances. Some people can't stand it, you know, because it is a bit of a weird thing to wear. But this only has 3 notes, cucumber, musk and freesia. I love this. I've never owned a cucumber fragrance before. It's so nice. The musk and the freesia, which also again will be a perfumer's interpretation of what freesia is, really support the cucumber. It doesn't have that watery kind of Boots cucumber. Boots used to sell a cucumber fragrance which was really watery. It smelled like just spraying cucumber water on you. This has an almost floral background. It's really light, and somebody told me that this lasts forever. I've never really tried it for a length test, but so beautiful, so pretty. This is one that I'd love to add to my collection. Really nice for summer. It almost feels a little bit leafy as well. There's a leafy cucumber note that isn't watery, and it's got a floral background from this really fresh freesia. Freesia is a very fresh flower. So nice. I think it's probably my favourite from the whole bunch. So pleasant. Anyway, that's it. I went through all of them. I hope you like this video. I'm going to do it again, I think, for the Eau de Parfum, because some of the Eau de Parfum ones are really, really cool. So for now, this is Phaedon. Phaedon, the Eau de Toilette line. I hope this gave you a little bit of insight. Anyway, I'm out from my click my logo down there to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon for another video. Goodbye. Bye.